Hi everybody, Hipper here. Today we're looking at Charles Martel. The upgrades I have on my ship, I'll just quickly show you here. And for the first one, I have the aiming systems mod, because I shoot a lot of AP in this ship. Second is steering, as usual, and the third is steering as well, also as usual. And the last one is the reload boost. Well, not boost, but the reload upgrade, also as usual pretty much. Nothing new there. For my commander, I usually go with Rue when I play this ship. And the setup is pretty much similar to the other cruisers I play, except for one big difference. But the inspirations are still Fraser and Müller for speed, and then I have Ingenious and speed. But then the third row, I take the special French perk that gives you up to 20% better concealment when you are using your speed boost. It does increase your speed boost reload time by a substantial amount. But if you have, like I have here, your inspirations for speed, then it doesn't really matter that much. And the stuff you can pull off with this instant reduction of 20% in your detection radius is pretty amazing. And for this ship, that is really it's ace. The ace it's keeping in its sleeve for difficult situations. Sometimes it can be hard to make use of if someone is like a destroyer spotting you very close or something like that. But you just have to take that into account in your games and try to position yourself in a way that will allow you to make good use of this skill. Now this build is built for open water, so naturally maps with a lot of open water are preferable. And as you can see here, maps like Atlantic, Land of Fire, Crash Zone Alpha, Dwarf, Two Brothers, while maps like Fault Line and Greece, you might not struggle, but you will feel the fact that this build is not that suitable for those maps. Now the way I get off to a good start in this ship is slightly different to what I do in the other Tier 7 cruisers, only slightly though. So what I do is I steam in towards the cap on a domination map, and if it's not a domination map, I'll try to flank a little bit more than I'm doing here. My goal is, as in pretty much any other Tier 7 cruiser I play, is to get in here, surprise the destroyers. Maybe they're there, maybe they're not. If there's no destroyers, I can perhaps cap. But now here I'm spotted, and I'll wait and see how many ships are actually targeting me. And so far only one. I'm guessing that's the destroyer. So I'll continue on. Turns out it wasn't a destroyer, it was actually a Vlad all the way up there, but that's alright. There's only one of him, and we can manage that. Now, as soon as I realized that it was a Vlad up there, I put on my speed boost to help me be a little bit more difficult to hit, because Martel does not deal well with taking broadsides, and especially not from a Vlad. And there's still only two ships targeting me now, so I'm still not retreating. I think I can handle this. So I'll just try to get closer and see if I can scare the Yudachi out there. I wish I could. So now we'll do everything we can in our power to take that guy out before we have to retreat. And we are already retreating now. It's getting a little bit too hot in here.
The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
And there we are, we're doing a pretty good job, and I go as far as saying that as a cruiser, if you end up taking one destroyer out at a cap, leaving the cap open to your team, really you don't actually really have to do anything more than that in a game. Of course, it's preferable if you do, but if you look at the naked truth, then pretty much done your job now, and you can be happy. So now we're just kiting away here and trying to fall off detection so we can head straight back in and take on that Cleveland there. Now the situation changes a little bit if more than 2 or 3 ships are targeting you. And in this case here, I'm pretty much starting the game the same way. And usually on this flank, on this map, the whole enemy team goes this way. So although I don't know yet, I have a sneaking suspicion that I will be outnumbered by a large margin. So I'm just heading in and waiting to be spotted. And when I'm spotted, I make sure I'm ready to fire off my speed boost, so I get that extra 20% reduction in concealment, which will allow me to run away if things get too hot up here. And now I see 5 ships targeting me now, and that's my cue. I pop the speed boost, and then I try to get into a better position to take on this Scharnhorst here when he comes around the island. And I mean, this way you don't really need speed, because you can turn around broadside while no one's looking anyway, and you can decide when you want to pop out again, which will be when you fire there. Now, when you look at the armament on Charles Martel, you'll see that it's a bit of a jack of all trades, but really master of none. I mean, the AP is good. It hurts a lot, and the reload is quite good as well. 8 seconds. It can go all the way down to 8 seconds. The HE is also fine. Nothing wrong with it, and the reload helps a lot with the fire starting, because the fire change is pretty good as well. The torps are okay. You have 3 on each side, and they do their job. But again, it's nothing like having an Atago or a Hipper with like nearly double the amount on each side. And the torps, I tend to play this ship as if it doesn't have any torps. I only use them when the situation suddenly calls for it. I don't go into an engagement thinking, oh, I'm gonna use my torps here, like I do in Atago and the German T7s. Also, on each side, you don't really have enough torps to take out a full health battleship, or even 3/4. So the torps are really mostly there to help you take on other cruisers. Like for example in this example where I get to surprise a Wichita, and it doesn't have anywhere to run. And in this case the torps comes in very handy. Now Martel can bow tank as well, not as well as Wichita or some of the other cruisers that are really made to do it, like Baltimore as well. But you can get away with it, especially if you're only against one enemy, and that enemy should probably be a cruiser where you have a chance of actually bouncing some of the shells. A battleship, don't try. You can try to think you can bow tank that. So here you see I'm just using the torps to attack him from an angle he doesn't expect, take out most of his health. Then I'll reverse and just use HE to take the last off him. And here's another example with another unlucky Wichita, where we use our torps to guide him the way we want him to go. In this case, I don't want him to disappear behind an island that's over to my right. So when we get closer to that area, and I can see that he's speeding up and he's probably trying to jump between the islands, and I use the torps to steer him away so I can citadel him. In this case, I'm not really expecting the torps to hit, I'm just using them to control the engagement. Now also Martel is not as adept at setting up ambushes like something like Hippo and Prince Eugen are. But you can still do some pretty cool stuff with the high speed and maneuverability of the ship. If you see here on the radar right now, I just get a whiff of a destroyer there to my right, and it's a really annoying Yodachi that's been firing torps at me from outside concealment the whole game, and I really want to take him out. And as a also, of course, as a cruiser, that's my job. So I'm turning my back on the rest of the team, and I will try to surprise this guy here. Now he's probably expecting me to run after him around the island here, but I'm gonna go the other way, and because I'm so fast, I should be able to catch him up here at the corner before he gets too far and disappear again. If you notice, we're going 44 knots here. So now we're coming around the corner, and there he is, with no health, easy kill, and jobs are good in there.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Something Martel does really well is to flank, especially at the beginning of a game. Now it doesn't do it as well as Atago in my opinion, but it's a pretty competent flanker.
Activated.
The fast speed will allow you to get into position well ahead of the enemy team, as you can see in this this clip I've chosen here, where first I tease them a little bit with the broadside, as I do in most of my cruisers, just to also be able to spot them, to see how many enemies I'm actually facing. And here I can see I'm facing an Atlanta, which is easy meat for a Martel, and there's another cruiser in there as well, so only one battleship and it's far away. So now I'll let him think that I'm retreating, and instead I am now turning the other way. So now it's full speed around this island to try to catch these two cruisers here off guard, and hopefully get a few citadels in that way. As you can see, the other cruiser is staying put, which is great. We can set up a good crossfire here as soon as I get around the island. The battleship, on the other hand, he's following me, and I'm much faster than him. So I don't really know what his plan is, because he won't be able to do anything in this engagement. So there I am, I'm spotted, and he's only 6.5 away. That's perfect. AP away. And we'll just turn bow on, so we don't take any citadels ourselves, and do the same thing to the Atlanta here. And we try to keep both cruisers bow on, so we'll be able to bounce most of their shells. And like I said before, don't take any citadels. So now I'm shooting at them, and the other cruiser is shooting at them as well. So we got them on the run, and this is perfect. This is an excellent way to start this map, in my opinion. If you can get away with it. I mean, some players are savvier than these ones here, and they know not to extend too far into the cap, because they risk getting caught in a crossfire just like this.
The ship is on fire. Our team has taken the lead.
So now we've got them on the run, and there's a few torps here to evade, but it's no big deal. And the cap's ours. Now Martel has a few downsides, and one of them being the two front turrets. They're really exposed at the front of the ship, and if you're facing other AP shooting ships, like especially the British cruisers, Like you will have them taken out, and that's it's only in certain situations, of course, like this where I'm going bow on, trying to flush this guy from the smoke. And another thing you'd want to avoid is running into legendaries. Martel is already really squishy, and if you let a legendary sneak up on you, like this one right here, like you're dead. There's really no getting back from a mistake like that. So keep your wits about you in this ship. All right, this is the end of the video, so I'll just go over the main points. And I think the main thing to notice here is that Martel does everything reasonably well. It doesn't really excel at anything. Atago is a better flanker. It's also faster, except when Martel uses its speed boost. Hipper and Prince Eugen, they have better AP, and they are much more hard hitting, and they're also a lot better armored. And Wichita is a lot more agile. So Martel is kind of like a mix of all the cruisers, where you can do well in most games, but if you get in a situation where, for example, one of the other cruisers have the upper hand, you'll probably lose out to it then. Also, like I touched on before, the the ability that makes Charles Martel special is the 20% extra concealment that you can get at will, and that's unique, and you should make good use of it. And the more you upgrade your commander, the more concealment you'll get. But don't use it to lower your concealment just for the sake of lowering it. Use it when you are spotted, and then hit that speed boost to go unspotted again, and you'll have an advantage on your enemies then. All right, well that's the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And as usual, I look forward to seeing you on the battlefield. Hipper out.